Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Biz Central USA's Wednesday afternoon webinar. Wednesday morning for those on the West Coast. Marketing ideas for today's small business. We're going to have a lot of fun today. This is an enjoyable webinar. Hopefully you have a pen and paper, something to write with, because I think you'll find some ideas that you want to use. We're going to touch on 5 main areas of the marketing world today, and things especially that can help small businesses. But as time goes on throughout the year, if these 5 areas, if there's any one of them that really interests you a lot more than others, we'll be having webinars specifically on those areas. But this is sort of 5 webinars in one. I hope you enjoy yourself today. So today's topics, we're going to be going over a marketing overview. What can today's small businesses do to get the word out? Then we're going to be going over grassroots marketing, where you actually market to your community. So many of us are concerned with marketing nationwide that we forget that the majority of our business could and should come from our own backyards. And with so many businesses concentrating on selling through the internet all over the country and all around the world, they forget that there's a local community and something called grassroots marketing that can help. There's social media. Social media is the best value network in marketing. We'll be touching on that briefly. There is a webinar, a full webinar on social media coming up in 2 weeks at this same time. Hope to see all of you there. We're going to then go into a very interesting area called the email newsletter marketing. Now, this is relatively new for a lot of people in small business. Large businesses have used email marketing for years, but there are ways now that you can use an email marketing campaign and letter campaign, newsletter campaign, brand it to your business, and really develop a devoted following. We'll go into that. We're going to go into what every good small business website should have. Now, you may have a website, but I bet there are a lot of these little things that you've forgotten to put on your website. And if you have them all, hey, great going. I bet you have a successful website. We're still going to review them, and I think you'll find a few things that may be missing. Then we're going to go into branding and market consistency. Those of you that were with us 2 weeks ago, our webinar was all on branding. We're going to condense that into about 5 minutes of branding review and a few new tricks that we didn't talk about last week. So, our marketing overview. First thing I can say about marketing a small business is you must be unique. Nowadays, you have to be one of a kind. It's no longer the way it was in the 90s and the 80s with what they used to call Me Too marketing. That was if the town next to you or in another state, you saw, let's say you have a pet store, and you really like the way that they put the whole thing together, putting their name inside of a neon dog bone, and the whole marketing was built around the neon dog bone sign. So you decided to do the same thing in your town. Well, with the internet and national and international marketing and everything you do getting seen by everyone in the country, you must be unique. You can't be Me Too anymore. It changed the game about 10 or 15 years ago, and yet some people still see a cute idea a couple of states away and think that they can just copy it, and nobody will have ever seen it. Well, nowadays everyone's seen it. Before you can beat your competitors, customers have to be able to tell you apart. You have to stand out. You have to stand for something. You have to have some unique thing that makes people want to go and be a part of you. And we'll get into that in a little bit with a bike store example. You've got to determine your best marketing strategy. You've got to learn what you can provide that your target audience will value most. And after you're confident that your target audience is responding effectively, then you take that message and you take that look and that feel and you expand it to all media, and that's called branding. When somebody looks at your logo, looks at the colors involved with the logo, and it reminds them of the services that you provide and the uniqueness of your business, then you developed a brand. So what is grassroots marketing? First of all, it's the most affordable type of marketing, and nowadays I think we're all looking for ways to cut costs and be efficient and still get results. And grassroots or local marketing is one of the ways that you can be very efficient and get results for smaller amounts of money. It consists of using resources you already have to spread the word about your product or service. It includes marketing your organization on a local level and on a personal level. It works best when there's a combination of activities and you're implementing those together. Now let's think of, so let's go to the bike shop example. Let's say that you have a local bicycle store, but your prices are 30% higher than the local Target store or the local Walmart store. Well, the difference is if they go to a Target or a Walmart, a probably unknowledgeable person will come from aisle 7 over to tell you that the box for that bike will be pulled and go up and take the slip, pay for it at the register, and pick it up back at the loading dock, and you'll get a box of parts. And for the next 3 or 4 hours, you'll be home putting that bicycle together piece by piece. You'll probably never get it together totally right, but you'll get it together after hours of work and probably saying some not very nice things as things don't fit where things are supposed to fit. Now, on the other hand, if they go to the bicycle store, your bicycle store, let's say it's Jack's Bicycle Shop, the customer comes in, they're shown a bike all put together, a knowledgeable salesperson points out the different features of the bike, and if they buy the bike, they're even taken out in the parking lot and shown how to ride it and how the features actually work. And afterwards, if they have a question, there's a knowledgeable person that they can call. Now, that's your unique characteristic as a bike shop. If a customer really knew in advance that they were going to be battling with a bike for 4 or 5 hours, putting it together, never quite getting it right, never fully understanding the bike and having no one to call, or for 30% more, they could get the bike that was put together, a knowledgeable person to explain it, and they ride away a happy customer, don't you think that person is going to tell his neighbors, his friends at work, almost anyone he meets, yeah, I had a great experience. The bike was a little more, but they took care of everything. That's the type of business that makes it nowadays. A business that takes care of everything for you, that guides you through it. If you're writing a business plan, you can do it yourself and take hours and hours to do it and never get it quite right, or you can use a company that puts it together easily, quickly, and correctly, save you a lot of that work, and it's what they do. Jack's Bike Shop, bikes are what they do, and that might be the slogan. So grassroots marketing helps your organization to get to know your community, and it lets your community know that you're there as well. Very important nowadays. Don't concentrate only on the internet. Yes, they're quick, easy sales. You pack them up. They're gone. You never see them again. You get your PayPal payment. But your local community is who can support you and make you a big business. As time goes on, as the next few years progress in business, local companies are going to be more and more important. People are going to be getting more and more tired of having no service, of not having somebody put their bike together, of buying a dog offline and having it, or this is the new trend, dogs show up in a shipping crate rather than going to a breeder or a store that has reputable dogs with papers and explains it to them. And yes, and here's the vet that you go to, and here's the food that you buy, and you bought it here so you get a discount. Hand-holding, and that's grassroots marketing. So finally, well, you put all of grassroots marketing together, and it helps to form a ripple effect among your community. You treat the first customer right, they bring you more customers. If those customers are right, are treated right, more customers will come in, and it's a ripple effect. So teamwork in motion. Your customers are key to grassroots marketing. Getting them to talk well about you is the best advertising you can possibly get. Grassroots is the best way to get people excited to talk about your product. So what makes a grassroots campaign? Use your resources, your salespeople, your customers, and yourself. Speaking engagements, guest speakers at other events. If you don't like to speak, if you just really hate speaking, someone in your organization will, possibly your wife or husband do. Somebody associated with your company might find somebody who enjoys public speaking and then speak at the Lions Club or the Rotary Club. If you're using our Jack's Bike example, you could speak on bike safety, or you could speak on the new features of the mountain bike, or you could speak on aerobic health and how important bicycling is, and if you do it just 3 times a week, people are known to live 10 years longer. Press releases about your activities, but here's the key. With a press release about your store, let's say you've decided at Jack's Bikes that you're going to team up with XYZ charity and do an event, a bike-a-thon, ride for heart health for the American Lung Association, or the American Heart Association. Well, this is a newsworthy item because now you've associated yourself with a charity. You have a great thing that'll probably get printed and probably get on the local news stations. But you want to go to those local outlets yourself and hand deliver those press releases. They're much more likely, if you get it in the hand of the decision maker of what's going to be put in the human interest story section, you're much more likely, if you hand deliver it, for it to get printed. Use your connections for news coverage, even if it's only another organization's newsletter. If your Jack's Bike example is doing this marathon for charity, bike-a-thon for charity, ask your customers that are in the larger church organizations with newsletters and bulletin boards to put notices of it up. And always make sure that any notice that you give them has your logo, which stands for your brand, brightly printed. The best way to get people excited about your product or service is to be excited about who and what you are. We're Jack's Bike. You're not only buying a bike from us, you're buying us. We show you how it works. You call us up and you say it's making a bing, bing, bing sound. We know right away that, well, you have a leaf caught up under the chain guard. Look up under the chain guard. You're going to see a leaf. Oh, wow, that fixed it. Thank you. Ask the community for feedback. Word of mouth spreads when the community knows that you care about what they think. If you ask your customers, what kind of service did you get? That's one thing. But if you ask your customers, do we have good biking trails around the area? What could we do to improve biking trails in the area? Something that improves their community that you're concerned with as a bike store. This is something that gets the community excited that you really care. Now do you see how you as a bike store would be more likely to get the sale than the Target who sends you a box out the back door? Network, 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 network. We're going to talk in a few minutes about the elevator speech. You always have to be prepared to, in 30 or 60 seconds, tell somebody about your business. You never know when you're going to be in an elevator or in a restaurant and you hear the mayor of the town say how they have this horrible experience with their bike. They want to get out bike riding, but it's just gotten old. Well, if you say, hey, I own Jack's Bikes, okay, that's nice, thanks. But if you go up to them and say, hi, I'm Jim Davis of Jack's Bikes. I'd really like you to come over. We have a new model that's so good for exercising. And, you know, us guys getting up a few years in age, we don't want to have one of these bikes that's really, really hard to pedal. With the new gear system, it makes the bike riding easy and enjoyable, and yet you get the heart health and the aerobic exercise you need. I want to make sure I'm there when you're there. What's a good time for you to come in? That's the way you'd approach them. And again, it's all part of grassroots marketing. You know what type of reaction you're going to get if that mayor buys a bike from you? The type of word of mouth that will go around, especially if they buy it under those circumstances. Wherever you or any person connected with your business goes, network, pass the word. After all, it's the first word in creating word of mouth. So some grassroots examples. Look for notice of a recently promoted citizen that appears in the paper or on LinkedIn. Congratulate them. Ask them for a little advice if they're in the business world. Wow, what did you do to do so well? What kind of advice can you give me to make my business better? And then, by the way, why don't you come in and look around? Somebody in your position now probably could use a bike, and I'll give you a discount as a congratulations. People love to be noticed. They are very, very grateful if you notice that their totally personal achievement of being promoted to head of the accounting department of the local GM dealership, though it's unimportant to everybody else's life. If you acknowledge that it's important to their life and that you've noticed, you make a friend for life. Speaking engagements, we talked about this before. If you're not a public speaker, someone in your organization or some friend of yours is. Offer to speak on your product or service. Make it interesting to area clubs, societies. They're always looking for good speakers. The Lions Club, the Rotary Club, it's if you listen to their community or their committee meetings, which I have many times, oh my gosh, who are we going to get for July? We can't have Ben Johnson talking about his shoes again. We've got to have somebody new. Oh, look at this person that just came out of the blue. They want to talk about bike safety and the new way to live 10 years longer. Perfect, let's have them. And now you have 50 people that are in that Lions Club meeting that are a captive audience. 2, 3, or 4 of them may walk right out and go buy a bike from you because they were always thinking about it, but now somebody's asked them for it. Host seminars or webinars right in your store. And the good old-fashioned canvassing. Take flyers or cards. You can even have an event yourself and make sure to have cards about the bike shop. You can have a bike repair clinic. Bring your bike in and learn how to tighten your chain. Finally, like we said before, word of mouth. All right, social media. We'll be brief on social media because we have a social media webinar coming up in 2 weeks, social media for small business, and I hope you'll all attend. But here's a quick, brief overview of the best value in internet marketing. What is social media marketing? Well, it's using elements of social media to enhance small business. Maintaining a daily ritual to attract your new customers. It's also used to cultivate new interests in products and services that you may have. Using Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, your website blog, and that's an important part that we'll go into, and YouTube as a video hosting site, together you can increase or improve your image in the market. First of all, we'll talk about Twitter, its definition and uses. Twitter's a one-line message site. You may think of Twitter as a social-only site. That's definitely not true. Twitter can deliver links to websites, webinars, pictures, videos, and more. Twitter is a part of an overall social media strategy. The good thing about Twitter is you can send Twitters out over and over and over and over if you want to, with a link back to an event, because we'll go into the Twitter stream in 2 weeks. Facebook. Facebook is the most used social media. However, it's a much more social network. You never use a logo for a picture in Facebook. A lot of people ask, what is a like? It's kind of a silly term. They used to be called a fan on Facebook, and in my opinion, it's just about as silly a term. What it really means is they've become part of your network. So when you send a message out, everyone who has liked your site will now get a message, whatever message that you send out, sent to their what's called wall. So if you have 2,000 or 3,000 people who like you, that means that they've been added to your network, and if you send out a message, big sale this Saturday, 10% off all bikes, everyone who has a Facebook who's liked you gets that ad sent directly to their Facebook. 10% off on all bikes this Memorial Day weekend. So what is a page? Page is a real interesting thing and probably the best thing in Facebook. It's a one-page website that you can use as what they like to call in the internet world a landing page. Say you're having this bicycling event with the local charity for heart health, for the National Heart Association. You can have that page on your website for all the information for signing up. And by the way, if you're signing up, like us. So now everyone that's signing up for that event is probably also pressing the like button, so you've gained that many more people in your Facebook mailing list. So the pages are very important in an overall campaign. Best use of Facebook is for announcements of events, promotions, landing pages, and cause marketing. And landing pages are for events, cause marketing, and public relations. Small businesses, find out who the charities are in your area. They're always looking for a small business to co-sponsor with, and small businesses are always looking for somebody to co-sponsor. And don't make it about money. Make it about the cause. And if you have to, going on the bike marathon thing, if you have to stock the two-way checkpoints with some of your employees, and you have to go out and buy $50 worth of water bottles to be the co-sponsor of this thing, you're going to have so much goodwill in your community for being part of it. It's certainly worth the water. And I'll bet you if you go to your local Publix, explain who it's for, explain who it's benefiting, explain the charity involved, they'll give you the water. It's all about time. It's all about working with your community. LinkedIn, much more business, much less social. It's a small business social network. You want to join various groups. There's all sorts of LinkedIn groups, and you'll find a LinkedIn group that fits your business specifically. And if you don't, you can start one right on LinkedIn, market it, and you have your own social group. You have meetings in your store. There can be a group about bike repair. It can be a group about bike exercise. There's all sorts of things if you're Jack's Bike Shop. Of course, I'm expecting y'all to fill in the blanks for whatever small business you're doing. If you're a dentist, there's all sorts of things that you could do with LinkedIn to form a group on dentistry, pediatric tooth health. Come in and find out actually how you should brush your teeth properly. Adults, come in for a free informational about gum disease. This meeting group goes into different types of gum disease. Or you could form a group or join a group that's involved with golf, because that's what you enjoy, and you'll end up networking with people, and everyone needs dentistry, don't they? You never use a logo as a key picture, always a face. Much more important in LinkedIn even than Facebook. Always use a picture, not a logo. Always be all business. This is not a social site. This is not where you talk about your aunt's wedding. This is all business. As soon as you start talking off business, you lose friends, you lose followers, people don't want to hear from you anymore. You connect with like-minded people. You end up with a whole group of people that are also small business people. You join small business coalitions, work together in your town, and make the whole business environment better. Do not use this as a personal site. Use this as a personal business site that's related to your product and its market. Now, YouTube, very misunderstood. YouTube is a free video hosting site, period. The fact that your kids go there and watch horrible videos of punk rock groups means that they're using some of the YouTube search functions. You sign up for YouTube, you post your video on YouTube. We'll go over more of this in 2 weeks, but you post your video of your business, and then you embed this video in your website, and all of a sudden you have a free video hosting service that's not taking up bandwidth on your website. It's an amazing thing. You use it as video hosting. You use small format for easy access. You become mobile ready automatically because YouTube makes you mobile ready. The length should be 30 to 90 seconds. Any longer than that, people lose interest and move on. It should be as animated as possible. In other words, it shouldn't be a static picture with you talking. It should be things going on visually. Otherwise, people change to the next video. And it should be topical, something on your business. Of course, the dentist office could have all sorts of things about dental health. The bike shop could go into small 90-second, just showing you enough about how to repair something on your bike that you realize you can't do it, you don't have the tools for it, but Jack's Bike does that repair because the end of every video has your name, number, address, and email address, and people look at it, know you know how to fix it, and bring it right into you because you know what? Target doesn't fix those bikes that they don't put together. So the big four in social media are Twitter, which is used to send well-crafted one-liners with links to events, videos, websites, and blogs. Facebook. Your Facebook page can be a mini website and used as promotion to other events. LinkedIn. Business connection network, a place to form groups and promote events. And YouTube. A free web hosting for your videos. Period. End of sentence. Now we get into one of the fun areas, and that's email marketing. This is something that's relatively new for small business. It's a service that we can provide. It's a service that's available very, very expensively for big businesses, but now the prices become very, very reasonable for small businesses, and you can make it work for small business as well. So let's go over some of the basics. An email campaign. Well, many businesses have replaced or supplemented their direct mail efforts with email marketing campaigns. Now, why? For one thing, email marketing campaigns are far less expensive and easier to track. Let me go off track a little bit here and talk about this. With a letter, if you send out bulk mail, you either print it out on your printer, and it's basically a typewriter page with maybe some badly printed color pictures, or you spend a lot of money to have beautiful glossy brochures printed, you mail them out. Then, of course, you have the cost of almost 50 cents a letter for the mailing charge of it going out. And some people open them, some people don't. And you're shot your wad in one mailing, that's it. If you want to do another mailing, it's print all over again, mail all over again. With an email campaign, you can make a beautiful website-worthy page with all sorts of interactive things on this letter. There's the bulk of your letter, but there's also click here to go to the website, click here to watch a video, click here to get a discount coupon, click here to find information on how to repair or tighten the chain of your bicycle, right in a YouTube video. And all that's contained right on that email, and it costs you exactly nothing to print, and it costs you exactly nothing to mail. It only costs you the charges of setting an email up and a bulk charge to send the email out. It talks here a little bit about easier to track. The tracking is amazing. The services we use can tell you exactly how many people opened those emails. Yes, an email has to be opened. If you get an email in your system, you click on it, that opens it so you can read it. Otherwise, it's worthless. And you might say, well, what if only 7 or 8% of the people open my email? It's a flop. How many people do you think open junk mail? I live in a high-rise condo, and I can tell you the garbage can is always overflowing with unopened junk mail. Those great things like Valpak are wonderful if somebody opens that package with the coupons, and that can be a very good thing. In fact, they're one of the most opened rates, but with email, you know exactly who opened those mails, so they become a target of interest. You know them by email, by name, and by phone number, who opened the emails. You also know who clicked for more information, who clicked for a coupon. Any one of 6 or 7 or 8 pieces of information about that customer once they opened the email. And the beauty is you can make a few minor changes and send the whole email out all over again, week after week after week, with no additional printing charges and no additional postal charges. Fantastic thing. Relevant email marketing means that your email marketing subscriber gets emails from you when they want it. In other words, people that you're going to be emailing to, you have to make sure that these aren't just lists that you buy. You can't really buy email lists. You have to build them through your Facebook, through your LinkedIn, through customers coming into the store. You always ask them for their email number. So they're people that want to know about you. You know they're already interested in bicycles, or they're already interested in the dentist's office, or if you're a pet store, they're already interested in pets. They get it how they want it. They already have an email. You know that they're open to getting an email because they have an email. And with information they want, stay on topic. Very important to stay on topic. Never let anybody else use your email list for a message from your church. Your church is your business. Your customers, though they may be the same religion, they might not go to the same church. You both might be Presbyterian, but you might go to competing churches. So never let your email, that's your email list, and it should be used for your business at the times that you feel that you should be mailing things out. You need to make sure that you keep the look and feel consistent. Have somebody design it so it has a masthead. That means a header and a footer. It should be the colors of your brand. It should have your logo clearly on it. It should have just things about your business, probably a picture of your store, the address of your store, the phone number of your store, a direct link back to your website, to your Twitter site, to your Facebook site, to your LinkedIn site. Finally, by keeping the look and feel consistent, you help to maintain and reinforce your brand image. So your email should have content on the page that sort of adheres to these rules. Your content must be clear and relevant. That's pretty self-explanatory. Use appropriate graphics, but leave white space. Don't cram everything you can possibly cram into an email because people won't read it. They'll get confused. Have it free and open. Have it something that's pleasurable to look at, like a web page. Include a call to action link. Click here for a coupon. Click here to go to our website. Click here for the Memorial Day specials. Call to action. Pay attention to spelling and grammar. Always have someone proofread. I know I'm guilty of it myself. I'm typing real fast, and for some reason, dyslexia or something, I type was instead of what. Spell check won't see that there's anything wrong with that, but everybody else looks at it as a blithering idiot. So if you have another human being read it over, they'll say, why did you say was here instead of what? Oh, no, and you immediately change it, and it's correct. The simplest error that's not really a spelling error or a grammar error, just a simple human mistake, can ruin the entire look and feel of your newsletter. Just like a website, it has to be perfect. Designed for the preview pane. Preview pane is the template that they give you to make an email page, and everything has to fit into the narrow width of that. And a lot of times you wonder, well, why can't I make this as wide as the screen on my desk? Well, for one thing, emails are optimized to be able to be read on smartphones, tablets, and the smaller computers that us lesser poor people might have on our desk. So it's important to design for the preview pane, not for your desktop monitor. Here's some ideas for content. How-tos are always great. How to brush your teeth better, how to fix the crooked handlebar on your bike, how to make a poodle's coat shiny. Case studies. It's always good to find a case study that's been done on something that proves that your bikes are better, or that your method of brushing your teeth is better, and here's why, and here's a case study. People, for some reason, like to read case studies. Best of all is the best of or the top 10 list. You can always find 4 or 5 or 6 varying top 10 lists on anything. And let's say in the bike shop, in the Jack's Bike Shop example, you sell Schwinn bikes. If you look at 3 top 10 lists, one may have Schwinn on top, one may have Huffy on top, and one may have Kazoo or whatever on top. You pick the list, of course, that has your brand on top, and you put that in as an item of interest to top 10 list. Again, always make sure that it's relevant to your product and your business. Educational, any kind of something that educates. Let's say you're a real estate office and you want to educate people on why the prices have come down on property and exactly what goes into the valuation of properties now. That's educational, plus it's letting them know that you're a real estate agent and you're looking to sell them a house, and here's why. Opinion, this is something I think you should stay away from. That it's your opinion that a product is better, or your opinion that you should buy a house now. I disagree with this top 8 list by that one item. However, seasonal is very important. in seasonal. This weekend, I hope your business is promoting whatever service or product it's selling for the Memorial Day weekend sale. I know our particular promotion right now is about, in honor of the military, we have a discount program going on, which is very nice, and it helps people out. And when you put an actual discount on a service, it's a pretty amazing thing. People don't discount services, but that's our brand, and it's something that we do that works for us. Reviews. It's great to put a fantastic review in on one of your products or your restaurant or your dental office or your services. And news. Any news that's been written about you or your product or your industry, that might also be a good thing. Because if you start putting out a weekly newsletter, and there's two types of weekly newsletters. One's a blast, which is a news blast or talking about a particular sale or a particular product. The other is an email newsletter that goes into general things that are going on, events that are coming up, sales that are coming up. If you do those every week, you're really struggling to find things to fill the meat sections of the emails, so people don't come back to the same email every week with the same writing and say, why am I going to open this again? You want to give them something interesting, and there's a good list of things for you. Okay, how can email marketing work for small business? First, as we discussed, it's low cost compared to direct mail. Email marketing is extremely low cost. Data, the amount of demographic data that you can get. Call me afterwards, and I'll show you some reports and graphs and specific data down to the individuals and what town they're in that opened your emails and were interested in your emails. Automation. You can set up an email marketing program, spend a lot of time with whoever's doing your email marketing, set up the next 3 months of sales in advance, have them all programmed in, and like clockwork, every week that email goes out. You know it's coming out, and you can go to your computer at 10:05 in the morning on Wednesday, June 5th, and bing, there's your computer, or there's your email like clockwork. Relationship. This is the most important thing. Emails are a constant reminder that you exist. Just because somebody's bought a bike in your shop, just because they've had a great relationship with you, doesn't mean that they have you in the front of their mind. You know, something else more important comes up next month, and even if somebody asks about a bike, they may or may not remember. But if they're getting an email every week or every month talking about a new fun tip on a bike, or hey, accessories are on sale, come on in, you're always in the forefront of their mind. Their coworker asks them where they got their bike. Oh, I had a great experience down at Jack's Bike Shop. Or I need a dentist. I had a great experience. And you know, every week he gives me another tip. I get sick of all these tips, but the fact that he cares is pretty cool. Go see my dentist, Dr. So-and-so. So small business websites. I hope you all have a small business website. Here's some tricks that every small business website should have. Things to include in your website. Frequently asked questions. This is really important, to include frequently asked questions. Let's think of some real simple examples of questions that you'd want to put on there that maybe people wouldn't just come out and ask, but they probably want to know. Where can I find your product? That's a pretty important one. Where do I get more information about your product or service? It could be a click right to the page that explains exactly what they're asking about. Of course, your product, that's fill in the blank. What career opportunities does your business offer? In this day and age, it's really hard to find good employees. You may, on a question like that with a click here, and you have, again, Jack's Bike Shop, and somebody fills out that they worked in a bike shop for 15 years, then they were in business forever, now they're 65 years old and retired, but really love the biking world and would just love the opportunity to sell on the floor, and you happen to be looking for a salesman. There's a perfect opportunity, win-win situation for both of you. Social media direct access. Each one of these little things is a button, an individual button that can be placed around on different pages in your website, and it allows people to join instantly. They like what they're seeing. All right, I want to see what their Twitter feed is. I want to see what their Facebook looks like. I want to see what their LinkedIn network is about, and let's see if they have any videos. And they join all those networks right on the spot. You want to have an active blog. Whoever sets up your website should definitely set up a blog, and you should post to that blog at least once a week a new article about your business. If you're just not a writer and you're just not prolific and you just don't think you can do an article or 2 articles a week, there's a thing well, at least our web designers can do for you. That's put in what's called an RSS feed, and that's a free feed to somebody else's website that has a blog about your particular industry, and they're happy to have people read their articles because they write the articles and they want them read, and they're just thrilled that somebody who has a captive audience about bicycles or dentistry wants to read their articles. So the articles are redirected onto your website, and there's something new for everybody to read once or twice a week, whether you write it or not. You want to have a place for a newsletter sign up right on your home page. This is very important. Newsletter sign up, we went into email marketing, and you will want to do it at some point. So every person that comes to your website, don't make them look for it. Don't make them look for a contact us page, and don't ask for a lot of unnecessary information. Name, email address. If they want to put more information later, that's fine, but get their name and their email address. And my suggestion is don't ask for their phone number up front. If they want more information from the Contact Us page, they want more information about a bike, then put their phone number down. But for email marketing, you need their name and their email address. Have great content, no bad facts. If you put facts in on something, make sure that they're fully researched. You don't want somebody coming back to you and saying, the facts in this are completely wrong, this never happened. You don't want misspelled words. Use pictures whenever possible. In the webinar in 2 weeks, we'll discuss how you can link those pictures, and other people use those pictures on their website through exchange services, and whenever those pictures are clicked on, it brings them right back to your site. Use keywords. If you don't know how to, find somebody who knows how to put keywords in your website. It makes your site seen by many more people who otherwise wouldn't have seen it, but are searching for whatever your specific business or service is. And finally, or whatever your product or service is. Finally, be brief and punchy. Don't be very wordy on your website pages. You want whatever you write to be short and to the point. Lots of pictures, lots of colorful things, lots of interactive buttons. And when if you have a very big website and you want to get deeper and have hardcore technical information, that should be 2 or 3 clicks into your website. Branding. Now, if you were here 2 weeks ago, you saw the branding webinar, but I'll try to give you a few extra tips beyond the review here. Small business branding is not making your customer choose you over your competitors. A small business brand is a reputation. Who are you? What is your product or service? What is unique about your organization? What does your product or service do? And finally, why should we care? Why should I care about you? Your logo represents your brand, but your brand is all 5 of those things. If you can get that across in your marketing, then your logo becomes your brand. When you look at Tide, you think of the pinnacle of getting your clothes clean. If you can afford it, you buy Tide. If you look at Boar's Head cold cuts, if you can afford it, you buy Boar's Head. They might not be any better, but your perception is that Boar's Head is the top of the line in cold cuts. Where to start? Well, you start with your elevator pitch. The elevator pitch is your brand in 30 to 60 seconds. And yes, small businesses, you must have an elevator pitch. You're in the elevator, and it doesn't have to be an elevator. You might be sitting in a restaurant. You might be walking down the street, and you hear somebody talking about, boy, you know, I think I could go a lot farther and I could get these investors if I just had a real business plan, but I bought the software for it, and it's so hard to put together, and no matter how I write it, it sounds like a kid wrote it. I don't know how to fill this stuff in right. And if I were standing there, my elevator speech would be, wow, you know, I work for this company called Biz Central USA, and a lot of people think, wow, it's an online marketing company or it's an online business service company. But in reality, we're a company of real people. We have real offices in Orlando with dozens of people there that put together different forums that other people haven't done before. With business plans, heck, 1,500, 2,000 times we've done them for each of the people doing those services. And we have people that really understand how to do a business plan. They get with you on the phone, they talk to you about it, they help you fill out the forms, go back and forth, put pictures in it and graphs and make it look beautiful. And when it's done, it's as good as any Fortune 500's business plan. It's really something you ought to look into. It makes life a lot easier. That's an elevator pitch. Small business brand attributes. These are things that go into the making of your brand. Now, one of the things that goes in is the unique way that you deliver your brand, the communication of your brand. And part of that's the way you talk about it, the way you network, the way you deliver your services, the way your customer service works, the way you always under-promise and over-deliver, or however you run your business. Another thing are the colors of your business. You decide what your colors are, and your colors are just like your logo. If you notice, this is a new look for us in this webinar, but it's all basically red, white, and blue, because that's our colors. Red, silver, and blue, red, gray, and blue, red, black, and blue. But the Biz Central logo is there, the colors are there, and the colors on the page are all the same. That's all part of branding. Relationship. Promise only what you can deliver, and then deliver on your promise. If you promise that you're going to deliver something and then some catastrophe happens and you can't deliver on time, you should be on the phone with that customer explaining exactly what happened and deliver as close to on time as possible. That's your promise. That's your brand. You need to deliver on your promises. If you say it'll be there Friday, you want to have it there Friday. If you say this bike is unconditionally guaranteed for a year and the person brings it in and the chain is broken on it, and you say, yeah, but I'm your neighbor. I saw you have your 300-pound cousin riding the bike and they kept the chain off. It doesn't matter. Don't even bring that up. You said unconditional guarantee. That means without guarantee. That was your intent. That's what you said. Fix it without complaint. The word gets around. And though there are people that take advantage of something like that, the majority of people say, wow, well, if they even fixed that, I know I can't do anything that bad, so it means I have a year without repairs. And you know your product well enough that it's probably not going to have any problems in 9 out of 10 of the bikes that you put that kind of a guarantee on. And the big box stores only guarantee 90 days, so yeah, okay, this is what we want to stand for. But if you promise that and you stand for that, that's your brand, that's your reputation. Promise only what you can deliver. Innovation. What makes you different? Why do you stand out as unique? Think about that and put that into your brand, because that's what makes you an individual. What we talked about before, no more Me Too marketing. You are marketing you and only you and what's unique and stands out about you above every other business in the country. Flexibility. Be willing to change as time goes by, but stay true to your brand. I'll give you an example of that. We're at Biz Central, we're really tied to our brand, and we don't like changing it. However, we're in total rebuild of our 3 extremely expensive websites, and each of them are thousands of pages deep. They're considered educational websites and linked to by many, many organizations because we have so much educational content in them. But where they were the cutting edge of technology 5 years ago, they're too wordy now, and the overall design of websites changed. So we bit the bullet, and we're taking the massive undertaking of changing these monster websites And yet I notice a lot of small businesses out there that had a website put together 5 years ago under very, very inexpensive conditions. And the websites are so obsolete now, they might as well not exist. But the thought of redesigning their website, oh, they don't want to because people recognize that as our website. If you would plug in analytics, you probably see that 5 people a month are visiting a website if it's not optimized for today's internet. For one thing, if it hasn't been optimized or changed in the last 2 years, cell phones can't even access it. It doesn't exist. So you want to be willing to change with the times, because in the fast-paced world of the internet, things change. We must stay up to date. The first step is decide what you are branding. Decide what you're marketing. What is it that you're branding? In our Jack's Bike Shop example, are you selling a bike? Well, if you look at yourself that you're selling bikes and Target is selling the same bike at 30% less, you might as well close up, right? Because you're both selling bikes and you're more expensive, so they're going to buy at the other store. No, you're selling an experience. You're selling the experienced sales personnel that know what the bikes are, how they work. You're selling the fact that they're put together already. You're selling the fact that you're there to fix them if they break. You're there to help them if they have a question. You're there on the phone to tell them that the clicking sound they hear is just a leaf caught behind the leaf guard. So decide what you're marketing. You're not marketing the product. You're marketing the experience of buying from you. Then you brand what you're marketing. Brand Jack's Bike Shop, whether that's an outline of a biker, a cartoon of a biker going up a mountain, whatever that is. You put together a logo. You put together a feeling of a brand and what you're marketing. That's what that logo stands for. Then you stick to that brand, the colors of that, the look of that, the logo of that, in all that you do, regardless. And you do this with everything you market, everything, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's on a handwritten letter of thank you to a customer. You stick the same. You stay consistent. Brand equals reputation. If you promise something and you decide, I'm just not going to deliver that because I don't like this customer, brand equals reputation. You will lose. You lose reputation, you lose your brand. If you promise it, deliver it. Don't overpromise. Do not overpromise, but deliver what you promise. So, marketing a brand. By developing one brand, one look, one feel, business will be better prepared to execute marketing programs throughout the year. Decide on one digital identity. Be consistent in all the digital world. Have a social network unique to one organization. Don't decide to use your old Facebook from college. Your business should have its own Facebook, its own Twitter, its own LinkedIn that's not linked to your personal life or anyone else's personal life. That's the life of your business. Have a blog that fits your digital identity and brand. That blog should be branded with the colors and the logo and the look, and the article should fit your business. Don't go off topic. Use keywords and phrases that fit your brand. If keywords and phrases sound difficult, they are. Let a professional handle it for you. Define, align, redefine, refine. Values, benefits, passions, personality, unique talents, unique abilities. These are all things that go into the gears of marketing. I love that logo, that look, that little piece that I found. I wish I had written it. Now, if you would just give me a break for about 30 seconds, we have Bob Moffett joining us. Okay, Bob will be joining us in just a minute. He's finishing up some business with one of you wonderful customers. While we're waiting for him to come in with a few great marketing ideas. I want to encourage you to, it's the question and answer portion of our presentation, and if you go over to the right side of your screen and type questions in the question box, we will answer as many of them as we possibly can. I'm looking forward to your questions. There's a few there now. And let's go over a summary before we get to the questions and answers. First of all, however you choose to brand your business, it will leave a permanent impression on your audience. You know, one dissatisfied customer, one customer that you tell, hey, I saw you had your cousin from out of town on the bike and they wrecked it. I'm not honoring the warranty. Yeah, you might be morally able to get away with that, but how much bad will that give your business? If you brand something, if you promise something, everything you do, brand equals reputation. So keep that in mind. It's so easy to slip once, and then that person puts something bad in Better Business Bureau or something, whether it's fair or unfair, and it hurts your reputation forever. So conduct yourself while realizing that you are your brand. Your business is your brand, and your brand equals your reputation. Conquer that elevator speech. That's really, really important. I like this little bit with the box unwrapping the question mark. You never know. You never know where you're going to be when Providence hands you a gift. When you walk in a room or you walk in a restaurant or even the cliched elevator and somebody's talking about a need for your product or service, and you can you can't memorize this speech. You can't sit down and write it and then pull it out of your pocket and read it from notes. No, you have to internalize it. It's your business. So you should love your business and know what you want to talk about. But most of us would stand there and try to talk for 6, 7, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, try to lock them down for an hour to tell them all the attributes of how great your dental services are. That's what the elevator speech is about. You practice in front of a mirror until within 30 to 60 seconds you can freely and naturally just touch on the light points that may interest them in buying a bike from you, getting dental service from you, getting a pet from you, buying a house from you. You know the person's interested in that specific service, and wham, you get it. And Bob Moffat just entered the room. I'll introduce him in just a second. Let me finish the last summary point. Remember to be patient and don't rush it. Your end results will benefit from a sound, well thought out process. And that's how marketing in general works. Bob is here. He's been a business consultant for many, many, many years. And he is just a great guy. Many of you have talked to him. And first of all, we just want to get some general feelings about marketing and how you've been involved in stores branding themselves. And what we've talked about is the importance of websites, of email marketing campaigns, of brands, of grassroots marketing. And one of the examples we used was a fictitious bike store. You can pull right up there if you want. A fictitious bike store called Jack's Bikes. And we said that it would be a good idea to find a local charity, because charities are always looking for a retailer to work with, and they may act like up front they want money, but they don't want money, they want a partner. And you had a lot of experience with that. Why don't you go into that a little?
Again, this is Bob, and well, a lot of times it's a win-win situation when everyone's out to help each other. If a nonprofit comes to you and you have perhaps a used bike or something that is worth $5,000 or $10,000, sometimes you donate that to them, they raffle that off, but you can boast on your website, on your newsletter that you're charitable, but then you get to write that off on your taxes. But then again, there's many things that you can do to help brand yourself and to market yourself. A lot of times those nonprofits on their websites will put the name of your bike shop on there, a testimonial about how you have helped them And people who are clicking on there will see that, and then through helping the community, they will always come to your bike shop with their needs, and it will spread around through the churches, through the community centers. Anyone that needs their bike fixed or want to buy a new bike are going to come to you because you have a heart to help the community. And that's one thing that in my life and in everyone that I try to help on the phone here, in marketing or in life, again, it's a win-win situation. In this universe, if you're not giving back somehow when there's a need for yourself, there's no possible way to meet it. But in many things that you're doing, I do know that marketing is so important, because if you don't have someone calling or coming through the door, your business is not going to stay open. And the best marketing is word of mouth. And if you have these people speaking highly of you and putting written testimonials or advertising for you for free on their website, that's huge win-win. And then you get a huge tax write-off, and you get to use the money the government's already taking from you to brand your name and to boast that you're charitable.
I have a question here, and they said that, yeah, they're one of the ones that I was talking about with the 5-year-old website, and I was explaining to them that it might not even be phone accessible, and that even we decided to update our website. How do they know when their website's so old it needs to be updated?
Well, if you're not getting a lot of calls on it, but again, your website in this day and age is who you are, what you do, how you can help people. And if that website isn't exciting, if that website isn't something that is getting the phone ringing, and you don't have the right marketing on there, or you don't let people know exactly who you are and what you do and how you can help them. Another thing with this website is that we do in helping out is we do press releases, and we write 100 different press releases that go to TV, radio, and the top websites, telling you, telling people about your business, and then pushing them to your website so that you will have an awareness, so people will have awareness. Because you can even, if we did an excellent website, how do people know that you even have one? So, but it's important. You can call us here at the Biz Central, and we will look at your website for free. We will give you a free analysis on it, and we will work with you until that thing generates the kind of money that you need.
Let me advance the page here to some of the services in the marketing area. And I know that Bob's much more involved in the business plan area and not so a lot of the nonprofit areas. But these are some of the marketing services that Biz Central USA offers. Variety of digital and traditional services. Digital services, I think, press releases you talked about, and writing and distribution. Nowadays, in the old days, press releases only went to newspapers, and if you didn't have something really newsworthy, they wouldn't put it up. But now, press releases go to blogging services, they go to all kinds. You just have to know where to send it. Have you've had some pretty good responses with those, haven't you?
I've had many responses with them, and a lot of people got a lot of exposure on who they are, what they do, and how they help people, and what their services are. A large thing also is your branding. I mean, if you don't have a logo, like everyone knows what the golden arches are, everyone knows what the Nike swoosh is, that's important, and it's a very affordable thing. We have an excellent graphic design artist here, but you should always have some kind of a branding package for your corporation or for your nonprofit, having a logo, perhaps some flyers put up, because those are inexpensive but wonderful, even for your website, to have your logo up there, letting people know exactly who you are.
One of the things we talked about was the newsletter, the email marketing campaigns, and how they used to be so expensive that only major corporations could use them, and small businesses had to bite the bullet and print material, put it in envelopes, hand address the thing, or buy a coupon list, and then, the label lists of the addresses, and then stamp them, and just the hassle they went through. Now they can send us their email list. We design newsletters, program them up to 3 months in advance to go out at certain times every week. Have you had much luck with that?
Very, very much so. The key thing is always getting you, whoever you are, and whatever you do, in front of people, letting them know. But also in the newsletters, you're giving them information. And a lot of times, even myself, there's certain newsletters that I get, I look forward to it, and I miss it if I don't see it every day. And I get one every day, and it talks about health and losing weight. It helps me. I'm in my later years, in my late 50s, telling me how to keep in shape and the things to eat and the things to do. So those newsletters mean a lot to me, but that's the thing for me. But also they do talk about some of the things that they sell and some of the things that they offer. So a newsletter, to me, I mean the one that I get, that I subscribe to, that I allow to come to me, I really love it, and I look for that every day. And people will start to do that as well for you. But again, there'll be specials in there, things that you're doing. Like right now for our Memorial Day, we have all kinds of specials that we have in our newsletter. So it's really helping people out. By the 31st, all the different discounts we're giving for the Memorial Day.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's something that our brand does. And if you don't have our, well, you probably have our email list. If you're not on our email marketing campaigns, just send me a letter and I'll get you on it and see what they look like. But the Memorial Day, it's up to a 10% discount for services, and nobody discounts services, but we do it, and if we promise it, we deliver it. We don't change the prices, they're the same prices, and we discount it. There's a lot of people out there, especially online, that say, oh, yeah, we're giving a 10% discount. Of course, yesterday we raised the price 10%, and that's week we'll lower it back down, but we don't do that. We deliver what we promise, and we promise what we deliver. And that's very important in every small business. Now, another service that we do are articles and blogs. That's something that I write for the people. If they want specific blogs that they want to go out and they just aren't writers, and it's a fairly inexpensive service. We also distribute that out to a wide variety of other people's blogs, and I discussed before about the RSS feed, where our web designer can actually have their blog show up with a new article every week or twice a week from somebody else's blog that just doesn't charge for the content. They want to let it in there.
I hear a lot about this, and like I said, I'm in my late 50s, and you know a lot more about this, and maybe you can share it. But I know how important it is because at one time I sold other things, and they wanted me to tell them about how many people were on my Facebook to do networking. But if you don't have those social media, the social networking set up, and we even have training with it, can you tell them a little? Because that is, if you don't have that, you're going to be way behind.
Well, with the social networking training and setting up, you'll see a lot on the web. Oh, yeah, we'll get you 500 or 5,000 followers for $35 or some ridiculous thing. Those are what's called bots. They're a robotic program over in Asia someplace. They're not real followers, and it's just a silly thing that kids play with. If you want your social media set up for you, it's something that we can do. We can actually set it up with real followers already on it that are specifically targeted to your type of business. We can set the Facebook up and brand it, have a page up and running on it, have your LinkedIn information all filled out. We can even make small 30 to 90-second videos and have them up and running on YouTube and tie it all into your website. These are all things we do. The other day, I don't know if you've ever gotten one of these calls, Bob, but somebody said, well, you're just a couple of people working out of a garage, aren't you? No, actually, we have 3 buildings in Orlando, Florida. Quite a few people working here. 3 or 4 people today got 5-year awards. People have been here a long time, really know what they're doing, and out of 12,000 customers, very few people didn't get exactly what they thought that they were going to get.
Well, something that interests me a lot, too, that I see on here, that because, you know, like I say, I'm in my later years, and I'm very opinionated, especially about things that I believe in, you know, from the political realm to the spiritual realm to God. But the blogging implementation, I'm telling you that when you have thoughts and ideas and there's so many people with the same thoughts and ideas, and you blog, and you put a blog on your site, and you start talking about things that touch other people's heart, it's endless the kind of followers. You know more about that than I do.
Yes, and with the blog implementation training, we can show you how to use keywords and how to make it so search engines find the topic that you're writing about. You may feel, again, with the Jack's Bike Shop, I know it's too much, but you have to have some example that carries through an entire presentation. Let's say the owner, Jack, really feels that he has helped thousands of people to live longer lives because he truly believes the data that shows that people live 10 years longer if they ride a bike 3 times a week. Well, if you write passionately about that and you use the proper keywords to direct search engines to it, anybody looking for bike help will find that article. And when they find that article, they find Jack's Bikes, they find how to get in touch with them, they enjoy his passion, and they buy a bike from him, no matter where they are in the country, and that increases your business on a nationwide basis. Now, should you have more questions or want to get in touch with us, you can certainly contact me at Tom@BizCentralUSA. You'll probably get quicker and better answers by contacting Bob at BizCentralUSA, Bob Moffett, who's here with us today. If you follow us on Twitter at either BizCentralUSA or CharityNetUSA, we always follow you right back. So many people don't follow the etiquette of Twitter unless it's an undesirable person who's followed you on Twitter. You should always follow them back. It's the polite way to be. Then you see their messages and they see your messages. Bob, do you have anything to add?
All I know in life is what I first started with. If you do everything in life to help people get what they want, then the things that you need in life will come to you. So that's what we believe in, that we want to help you to be successful. And if you call here, we care about you. We want to help you. We'll do everything we possibly can to make you successful and to help you to help the people that you've targeted to help. And you call me anytime. I'm here at that 407-857-9002, and I'm at extension 505. You call me if you just want to talk, need encouragement, you want to know anything about any of our services. It'd be a blessing to help you at any time. And if we can be of help in the future, you call me.
We want to thank you all for attending and remind you that if you missed any portion of this webinar, we will be sending you a link to the recorded version of it within 2 or 3 hours. Now, I'm not saying that as a promise because in the past there have been technical difficulties with the time of recording, and it might be tomorrow morning. But I will promise you you'll get a recording of this webinar to watch again or for the first time. We want to remind you that the next BizCentralUSA Wednesday afternoon webinar is 2 weeks from today at 2 o'clock, and that will be specifically on social media. So you'll be finding a lot of, if you enjoyed the small part of this presentation on social media, I think you'll love that one. Thank you very much for attending today, and we'll see you again shortly. Oh, by the way, Rob, they get a coupon for attending today. You know, if you print out that coupon or just tell Bob of its existence, he will help you with that additional help on your services bill. And thank you all for attending.